I have this fairy, and when I was going through the book and looking for images on the pages, I ran across this one, and I put a note of it on here to put it on the back of the book on a swing. So that's what I'm going to work on now. I'm going to fussy cut this out, and then I'm going to actually make a swing using some twine and maybe a piece of the same produce crate that I used to make the door out of. So that's what I'm going to work on now. I have him basically cut out, and I found a little piece of the produce crate that I'm going to use for the swing seat. It's cracking down the middle here, there. So I'm just going to cover the back with a piece of paper that'll keep it from breaking off completely. And I'm going to have him sitting, I think, like this on it. Let me get you just a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm going to have him sitting on here like this. And I have some twine, whoops, I'm sorry, that I'm going to use for the rope on the swing. And I'm going to wrap his hand around it. So in order to do that, I see I'm going to have to very carefully cut his hand so that I can pull it free and lay it over the top of the rope. So we'll do that. And that should free it enough to pull it up. Okay. And then I can put the rope in his hand like that. See that? And then we'll have our seat underneath him. And then another rope from the other side of him. Oh, I'm sorry, I know my hands are in the way. I've got that zoomed in too much, but I wanted you to see what I'm planning on doing. So a second rope will be coming from this side, and probably put his hand looks like it's more, it would be holding maybe the top of the swing rather than the rope. So like that. So that is what I'm going to work on now. And how I put it on the book is going to make a difference, because over here his sleeves was cut off because it was the edge of the picture. His sleeves. His wings was cut off over here because it was the edge of the picture. And then the top of this wing was kind of cut off because it was behind some grass in the picture. So I'm going to have to camouflage all of those pieces as well. And that's what I'll do now. while I'm waiting for my glue gun to heat up, I wanted to show you this rope ladder that I made. And I used the same twine that I'm going to use on the swings. And I used twigs from my little bag of sticks from the yard. And I made this ladder. So I'm thinking, I was wanting to put it on the front of the book, but there's no way, there's not enough room. So now I'm thinking I may put this on the spine of the book and may see if I can find a fairy who can either be standing up here or leaning across it or straddling it, whatever. I'm going to see what I can come up with there. Let's see. I'm going to do a little bit of distressing on this wood. And what am I going to use? I think I'm going to try some alcohol inks on that. Actually, I have one of the Distress Oxide walnut stains that I can probably use. Maybe on these edges here. Oh, it's running down the back side. See, I think I'll put that here. And I'm gonna dry that just a little bit. So I did the distressing on my piece for my, whoops, there it is, for my swing, and I'm going to bring back in my sanding block. I don't want to get that all over my fingers. But I'm going to bring back in the sanding block just to bring back a little bit of that worn look to it. Okay, that's good. Now my glue gun is probably hot enough. So we're going to put one of these ropes across here. And the other one is going to go across the other side, but I want to make sure that I have room for his hand to be on there. So I want it to be just right at the edge of this. Just stuck into it. So it's going to be right here on this edge is where the second rope will go. And I'll clean up all the hot glue remnants whenever I get finished. And then I'm going to glue these across the back side. Just because I don't want to cut them real close. That little bit off of there. Okay, so there's the swing, and this is where he will sit. And his hand will go across it that way. So now I see that I'm going to have to cut out all of this stuff. I don't know why I left that to begin with, but I'm going to cut that out too. Okay, because we don't need none of that. And then I'm going to sharpen up his hair. If you can see here, I left some, this is all rounded, and it needs to be kind of sharpened up where his curls are sticking out. So can you see, let me look in there, how the edges of his hair now have sharper edges. And if I take my walnut inker and just very lightly go over that to blend it a little, and now look at his hair. Can you tell? There, you can see it on the edge of that knife. It just makes his hair look a little more natural. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this portion, which I thought I had. There it goes. And then I'm going to cut out this portion. Okay, there he is. And there's his swing. So now we need to get him on the back side of the book. And I'm leaving my glue gun going because I'm sure that that swing I'm going to have to hot glue down. So let's bring our book back in. And remember when I was talking about his wings being kind of cut off on this edge and up here, and we're going to have to disguise that. So here's the edge of my book. I'm going to put him like that, so that his wings, when you fold the book up, they're not going to be damaged or anything. And it will look like that. So, do I need to put him in first? I think so. I think I should at least tack him down, because I know that as far as the back side of the book, this is where I want him at. So I'm just going to put a little hot glue there to just hold him in place. And I got a little overzealous with my knife. Okay, well, it's got to be that way. Now we're gonna put him on his seat, and line up his hand here on this side. So that's where I want the seat to go. A little glue. Ow! That hurt. Okay. So that's how that's gonna go. And now I'm gonna put his hand on top of this side. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I want to use hot glue there. I'm going to use the art glitter glue, because I really don't want to burn myself again. So we'll put enough of that on there so that it looks like he is holding on to that side of the swing. And then I will use the hot glue to just glue the top of the rope up. just to hold it in place. And the same on this side. Just enough to hold it down. Okay. I think all that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of art glitter glue under this hand so that it will stay in place. And then under his feet to also keep them in place. All right. Okay. So there we have our fairy on a swing at the edge of the book. Now, I am going to do some decorating on the back side there. And I've got these flowers, also Hobby Lobby. And I think these would look really pretty on the back side of this book. I also want to put in a few sprigs of this because he should be in a tree. So we want to make it look a little more tree-like there. And then just see what else I can come up with to make it all come together. I've been working on this, the back cover, and I got him on there and I started putting down the flowers and stuff. And I thought, well, it's kind of cute because he's looking down like he could be looking at the flowers, but he almost looks surprised, his face does. So I found this little squirrel and I thought I would tuck it in here like the little fairy is surprised to see his friend. And I'm going to keep working on this, and I'm going to put some of the moss from the front side of the cover onto the back on the ground. And yeah, I'll just keep working on it. Now comes an exciting part, is gluing my signatures into the book. And I put them in, it's a 4-hole stitch. I guess they call that a pamphlet stitch on a piece of cardstock. And it is just going to be glued into the spine here. I'm working on the closures for my book, and I've put an eyelet in the back and another one just like that in the front. And my first thought was to use a bead like this one and then have an elastic on the front side go around to the back and wrap around this. But I'm thinking I'm going to use the stick because it's really sturdy and it's the right size, and it kind of goes along with the nature theme of the journal. So I'm going to do that, and I have several different choices of colors of elastics. I'm kind of leaning towards this dark brown. That's probably the one I'm going to use, so I'm going to get that going.